Welcome back to the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. It's about that time. I know it's been a while, but it's good to see you guys again. How are you guys doing,
I
Jason?
haven't seen you guys since last
Okay,
year.
Troy, how are you doing?
No. Finish your sentence, Jason. We haven't
No,
seen
no,
us
no,
since.
no, 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 no. Troy, how are you doing?
I
Jason
mean,
doesn't have the right to
I'm
talk.
doing great, but I could be doing better if I knew what he was about to
You
say.
didn't. I said it. I said I
I
haven't
couldn't
seen you
believe it.
guys since last year. Can we? Welcome back,
Welcome
Tanner.
back, ladies and gentlemen. How are you guys doing? It's about that
Hey,
time. It's been a long year.
It's been
A
so
long
long.
year.
Wait, did you say?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's about that time.
It's about
I
that
want to welcome you
time.
guys to 2019,
2019.
2000.
How are you guys doing on your New Year's resolutions so far? It's been 7
Haven't we
days.
talked about that? We don't do New Year's resolutions here,
You don't, so you never do it.
or
What
like
you're saying.
I think we talked about how. I think Tanner specifically said New Year's resolutions are bullshit. That if you want to start something, you got to do it at that moment, really.
You're right. Okay, so let me rephrase it. Since the new year has started, how have your guys' goals and careers been?
Goals and careers.
Changed.
They've
Changed?
changed. They've definitely
Already?
changed. Yes.
In
Well,
only
I'm
7
not-
days?
Not my careers have changed, but I had a epiphany nearing the end of the year, probably around Christmas. And that-
Epiphany is a big word, like a big moment.
It was what else is another word for epiphany? An
A
inspiring moment.
revelation.
A revelation. God came down to me and he told
Oh
me,
my God.
Jason, you're not going to work at FedEx forever. And I said, yes, God, yes. What am I going to do? He said, Jason, look into the light.
And,
And
and that was it.
and I saw something else there. It was a master's degree. And I believe that is my next path in life, is obtaining a master's degree. And I know I've said before to these guys on our own personal time that it was going to be an MBA. But I think I will pursue. Jesus, you almost dropped your mic.
I did. I'm sorry. All right, continue. I didn't.
I'm gonna pursue a master's degree within data analytics or business analytics, and I may do it online.
And what
I
did I
see.
tell you?
You told me to get a job or something.
I said,
Don't quit.
oh,
FedEx.
well, that wasn't the only thing that you said. You
Well-
said some things that you wanted to change about your own personal life.
Well, I mean, I think it was just a lot of it was that I noticed throughout my lifetime I had the capability of being a leader or taking charge, and I've always neglected to even harness that sort of power because of the fact that I was afraid of accountability or responsibility. So in high school, I was the command sergeant major, which was in ROTC, which is the third in command. So I don't have everyone breathing down my neck, but I still had a good title, and a good amount of power. Throughout, the Chinese American Student Organization at FSU, I was always vice president because I didn't want all the responsibility of being president, of having people look to me when the night is dark and full of terrors. And
So you just wanted all the power without any of the.
yeah, and I feel like
You're
that's
just
it's
power tripping, bro.
it's
just,
not. I think it's just it's just not. It just means
You just want to tell other people what to do, but you don't
He
want
was
to be
power
told.
tripping while responsibility slipping.
That's
Yo, write that down
gonna go on my gravestone, dude.
on my
I like
track.
that.
It's go on my next mixtape.
I'll carve it on there for you.
So
But yeah,
So with that in mind, I think, it's always because, and I kind of figured out I never want to be a leader because of the fact that I don't think I know enough to be a leader. So I can't lead a group unless I know for sure I'm the expert. I can't be the leader if people come to me with questions and I don't know the answers for it.
So then, what could you do back then?
What do you mean?
So you took you took a position of power back then,
Hmm.
although it wasn't the one that had any of the responsibility or the accountability. What did you have back then that allowed you to deserve to be in that position?
I think no.
Since you're
I
since
mean,
you're saying now that you don't know how to lead, what was the
which
point of you having that power without the accountability?
which
Because
position?
like when you were third in command or when
Yes.
you were a vice president, you had a lot of power in those positions. You had all the power that you needed that a president would have, basically, without having any of the accountability. So, what kind of things did you? What was the point of that?
No,
Is what I'm saying.
I think I liked
You
the
just like
title.
having power.
I liked having power.
That's what I was trying to do, dude. I was just trying to get that
Power
out. But
feels good.
Power.
you're a power hungry piece of shit.
I'm not no, because if I was power hungry, I would try to like steal positions or like.
No, you don't have to
The
steal
person
positions to
that
be.
you understood that there was power in these positions that had no accountability, and you could have that status and that
Oh,
title
yes.
without having to do any of the work.
Yes,
So now what
that
I'm
is
trying
correct.
to say
That
is
is
you're
correct.
just
Thank you.
you're just a piece of shit is what I'm trying to say.
I mean, and I recognize that, and that's why.
So what are you doing to change?
So, like I said, I want to be an expert on something, and by being that expert, I can be that leader that's willing, that's able to answer questions or have people come to me for help. And it's like it starts small. It's a small, like I think it's kind of small, a small like goal to have. So
Well, from what I've been hearing, you said you could have been a leader, you just didn't want the accountability.
Yeah.
It seems like you did have the knowledge how to lead. It's more like you didn't want to. But
Yeah.
now you're saying you don't know how to, so you need some knowledge. So I'm kind of confused at these two different like kind of
No, he
things.
didn't know how to back then either. He just wanted the position. He just wanted the title.
yeah,
Okay, is that true? Okay.
yeah, but like so, but then in Caso, I could have been like president would have been easy. Like I could have done it.
Uh-huh.
You could have, but I wouldn't. At the same level of what was already being done, sure. I don't think that was. Sorry, never mind. I'm not gonna actually.
No, were you trying
No,
to talk
finish
shit?
your sentence.
He was
Finish
trying
your
to,
sentence.
He was trying to insult the whole Chinese culture,
No,
even though
wasn't.
you're a
I am
hypocrite.
Chinese.
Exactly,
okay?
you're a hypocrite.
So I didn't say anything, and I'm not saying it. I'm sure you could have done that position. Okay.
Yeah,
So-
I'm sure I could have done it. I could have done it maybe better, or could have just done it as is. Could have maintained the status quo.
So in that case, you had all the knowledge.
Yeah, I had all the knowledge. Look at Tanner's just smiling right there.
I don't even understand what was gonna.
I think
happen.
like I said, I could have just maintained it. I wouldn't have made it worse. It could.
Oh, so you would have coasted.
At best, it would have been neutral.
Oh.
I think. Look at Tanner, so doubtful.
Tanner, please say something.
No,
Come on.
yeah, let's say it.
I don't have anything to say. I
No,
think
oh, you have something to say. Clearly.
I'm sure I agree with you.
No, you
I
don't.
think that, I do. I think that you could have maintained the status quo. In fact, I think maybe if you'd applied yourself, you could have done some good for the community. But
Who made that? I made that dumpling bulgogi fundraiser. And that was a good fun.
yeah, but who told you about that place to do it?
Oh, that was you. But like you figured that out from other places too, right? From other people.
No, I had to research. I did. I looked back at old VSA pictures.
Oh, so
I
other
found-
VSA people did it.
Yeah, but it's not like there was anywhere that explicitly said this is where it was done. I had to look at the picture and then determine from where it was that was done.
That's
So
pretty
I
good.
didn't have like anywhere that said, "Oh, by the way, you can do this here and you can do this here."
Yeah, Tanner fed it to you on a silver spoon right into your
I
mouth.
said, "Hey, you do this here because you can,"
Yeah.
Open up.
And I did it.
and you did it. So I think that that's really good. I mean, because you could have very well have just not done it and not made the money for your organization and stuff like that. So I think that that was really good that you took those
Yeah.
steps to do this.
I think I noticed like as I was like vice president, I had like peaks and valley, or like I only did things I was really like inspired to do.
No. So,
So-
if you didn't feel like it, you wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't really give too much of a shit.
I
Like
see.
I guess that's just the hardest part, like doing it even when you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
like if you like I did that fundraiser, and I put like hours into planning that, like cooking the recipe, cooking all the food, prepping the work for
So
it.
honestly, it seems like you've had a lot of positions and experiences on how to be a good leader. It seems more like you just
don't-
need to apply the willingness to do it, right? Like, do
Yeah,
you really
I think
think
I
getting
have a
this,
shit
this
work.
master's degree,
I have a
this
shit work
master's
ethic.
degree is going to fix your work ethic?
I think so. Yeah, I think it'd be a good test, a good like
test.
not necessarily a test, but it's a good way to like, force myself to gain a good work ethic.
Oh,
Because especially if I do it through either full time or part time, I have to understand a balance of both of something. I can't just. That means I would have to like if I do it part time, I know I can't dedicate as much time to doing my own personal hobbies. Like I can't play as much video games.
or MMA. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't even do that much anymore.
I want to take it back a little bit. I want to go back to talking
grade.
about not fifth grade, not that far
Go
back.
ahead. That's pretty
Actually,
far
earlier in this conversation, just talking about
Oh.
our positions, because we were all part of executive board positions
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
back. Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to talk about specifically doing it when you don't want to do it. And I want to say that
Yeah.
was one of the hardest things being part of VSA.
I remember you wanted to quit.
Yeah, multiple times. Well, I mean, even before my second,
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what
or
I
yeah.
was implying.
But I think that carrying forward and just making sure that I don't know. I don't know if I did
No,
it.
that's
I
a
don't know if
good that's a good trait of a leader to be doing things when you don't even have the motivation to do it.
Yeah, but I think that fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say about that.
No, it was getting good.
Yeah,
I
it
was getting
pretty good.
goosebumps.
And then
Tanner.
Jason interrupted me.
I was trying to help you because it seemed like you were lost, as you
Dude,
were.
you interrupted.
All
his
right, but
bizarre
what
flow.
are you guys? Actually, specifically, Troy, what are your thoughts on that? Because you were on the board with me at the same time. for
Thoughts
2
on
years.
what specifically?
So doing VSA even when you didn't
Okay.
want to do it.
It is true. There are a lot of times where I didn't want to do anything, but every time I wanted to quit or like put in low effort, I thought about what if VSA died like with me in it. Like I would be a part of like I would have blood on my hands, right?
It'd be a hot potato, bro. The hot potato lands in your lap.
Exactly. Like that would be so sad to know. Oh yeah, VSA died when I couldn't save it, or or I couldn't keep it going. Like, and so that's one side. Like you could argue it's kind of selfish. I don't want that bad blood on my hands.
That's not.
But there's another side to it
selfish
that's
is
like
not always bad.
like yeah, for sure, and I agree with
Yeah,
that
but
completely.
I
I'm just
don't
saying
know.
that's
I
one
don't-
reason.
I don't think that that's a good reason. But all right, go ahead.
Oh.
No, it's not a
Yeah.
bad. It's not the
Yeah.
best reason, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's still a reason.
Yeah,
I-
that's one of my what.
I would say that is a cowardly reason. But
Oh, for sure. I'm not saying it's like a good heroic reason. I'm just
no, I'm saying in terms of good or bad, I would definitely put that. But I'm not saying that wasn't even because part of that was, I mean, on my hands too. Like I thought
Yeah.
about that at times too.
Yeah, I'm saying so that's one of the reasons. And the other reason is no matter who's running the board, if this was to die, like I had a lot of good times in VSA, especially when I first joined. And to think that an incoming freshman or maybe like a later sophomore might not find that fun opportunity that I got to have because like me or someone didn't put in the
Because
right
you
work,
gave
like
up.
that's also so sad. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if it wasn't me, someone gave up on something that I think is important, and there's going to be value lost because of that. Even if I don't see these guys having fun or making new friends, I know it didn't happen because it's gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
I mean, like
those
you
are my
said,
two reasons.
Like I think you told this story like 2 or 3 times about how you guys VSA was about to die,
Oh my god.
and then you had
Yeah.
all that money, and you were like, "What
I
are we gonna
think-
do?"
It was. I definitely agree with Troy. Like a lot of it was, I gained a lot of experience and I gained a lot of really good times and good friends just from this
Yeah.
organization. So that
Yeah.
if I were to give it up, I would be doing a disservice to what made my own college experience.
Yeah, like I needed to give back. Like I benefited from VSA. How am I not gonna at least keep it alive or keep it going? And then when I hear these stories about how it's doing so much better now, like thank goodness we held in there.
Yeah,
Like
because it could have just stopped there.
yeah, it would have stopped right there. We had the power to.
What are your thoughts on carrying your own organization or carrying on in your own organization?
Me?
Yeah.
I mean,
What was your experience? I know. I mean, there was times when your board was pretty fun. I know.
yeah, there were like
A lot of-
I wouldn't say like my final year where I had like much of a good time. I only stayed as vice president in my senior year just because they didn't have anyone else to do it. And
Oh.
I didn't want to be it. Like I know me and Anthony at the time, we were like, oh, we should just quit, right? Let's just quit and just not look back. We'll just sail off into the sun and burn up in whatever.
I think in your guys' case, didn't you actually sail off, but then you just came back?
No, I mean
Because you did that plan that VSA was going to do, like, let's just spend all the money on this and just quit it.
no that our plan was not to quit it though.
Oh.
Like
Oh.
we just spent like our cash, like not our
Yeah.
like actual like account money.
Oh.
We just spent our free cash.
So,
Okay.
what would you say so that this bit doesn't sound like all the other episodes where we talked about being part of organizations? But what would you say is one of the most important lessons that you've learned from your positions or from
I
your
think
time
it's
in
all
organizations?
one thing I think was really beneficial was just learning how to cooperate with people that you may not even agree with. I would say like my senior year CASO board was not like they weren't like friends, I guess. Like they were just co-workers or something
Yeah.
like that. But then especially in the beginning, it kind of like it builds, so it doesn't necessarily get to the family point, but it was becoming where I was familiar and like comfortable around leading these kids for that sake. And I definitely do think I did gain some leadership skills out of it. Where when we do have like these meetings that you do have to take charge and keep things on that set path, even if you want to just bullshit around, and you still can. I still like to bullshit even around like professional settings with like not like with like a VP or something, but I would think like you have to be able to be human in like these group settings.
I think I agree with that.
I agree. All right, let's move on.
That's something you learn in the business setting. It's like, all right, let's move on. Cutting off people. But I think from doing VSA and being part of organizations, I learned what a facade, how much everything was just a facade. Like organizations and stuff
Aren't
like that
as like organized.
aren't as put together as I thought they used
Yeah,
to be.
I
Like I think
agree with
growing
that
up,
too.
I would see organizations and institutions and events, and I'd be like, "Wow, dude! Like everything must be working seamlessly together to make these things put together." Like going to a concert or something like that, where everything's just timed and all these things are just perfect. But
Yeah.
when you get back there and you actually see it, and you have all these kind of like, it just like that whole. It just shatters. Everything just shatters.
Yeah,
Like, in
so
your
many
head.
things are improv, not going according to
Oh,
plan.
a lot of
Salvaging all
improv.
these broken pieces. Like, oh gosh, where's this person? They're up next. And okay, quickly, have this person go next. Contact this person. Where are they? How far away? Like crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That and the other thing that I really learned was the value and all the intricacies of communication. That involves like communicating one-on-one with somebody or versus communicating in a group setting with people, and the body language and all these different signals that you send off and how it can make somebody feel. Because in the end, when you're working with an executive board of people or a close group of people, morale is a really big factor when it comes to being productive. Because if you can't make them feel comfortable and you can't get your idea across or make it even a safe space for people to share their ideas, then you're just gonna have a shit time.
Yeah, I think we had a president like that where like any idea that you would say like it was automatically shut down. They like had that very like Asian that boss mentality. Not where like it's not where it's a leader where they encourage you to they try to empower you to voice your opinions and they hear you out.
Yeah, and the thing is like even if you're right as a leader, you have to be you can't
You have to,
You have to
listen
back up your
people's-
work. You have to show your work. You,
you
can't
have to
just say
have
this
also
is the right
like, you have
answer.
to have humility too, I think.
Yeah, you have to have humility because people, even if you're right, number one, people don't like to be wrong. I think that's rule number one. Nobody
for
likes
sure.
to be wrong. So even if you're right and that means everybody else is wrong, you have to make it sound like everybody has come up with the idea simultaneously and that everybody's sharing in the success of this idea.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the biggest things that I learned in terms of communication and stuff like that. What about you, Troy?
I think obviously everything we've said so far, but I would add an extra dimension of like what it's like to please an audience or a customer. Because as soon as I got on the other side of like planning and performing and all these things, I'm like, oh man, this is not ready. This is super late. Like they're not gonna like this. They're gonna hate this. They're not gonna come to the next event. They're gonna tell all their friends it's not. Don't go to this. And if I was them, I wouldn't be enjoying this either. Like this sucks. Like so it was pretty stressful. But I think I grew from that stress. That stress of like not wanting to disappoint an audience or a customer made me like strive for a higher quality, I guess. And also made me good at buying some time, I guess. Things are
improvise.
late.
Yo, stall them, Troy. Stall them. Tell a funny joke, Troy. Okay, go ahead.
I think Troy was a really good MC because he had that nice smooth flow, and he could fill up time.
I thought Jungmin was also a really good.
Jungmin. Well, the thing is, Jungmin was really good, but Jungmin plus Alec was amazing, like unstoppable duo. I think they were the best duo.
I never saw them. I never saw them together as a.
They were insane.
MC duo. I think I heard they did, what, Amped or something.
Did they?
Something.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that, but I know they did a couple of events. I don't know if you remember, Troy, but they were just like they would riff off of each other, and they just had this chemistry that was like.
Dang.
You felt it. It was like sparks.
Ooh.
But I've seen a lot of MCs in my days doing events, and you know, it's like watching a paper plane crash and burn.
Well, here. So, what are some characteristics of bad MCs so that we can improve and our audience can improve if they ever have to speak?
He's just gonna describe me.
No, I'm not going to describe you.
I would describe Michael. I would describe Michael.
I think that okay. So when it comes to MCing and what makes it, I guess to talk about the bad. Forcing a joke down somebody's throat. I think that's what it is.
Like
that
I saw you guys last year.
What?
Haven't seen you guys since last year.
Yeah, that was So I think that is a really bad technique. I think just not being prepared.
Oh,
that's number 2. And I guess also just not having good chemistry with either your co-MC or even just with the audience, because there's if you can't balance that chemistry between you and the audience, it's like
was Hannah an MC with you before or something?
No,
I remember she was an MC once with someone, and I was like, oh, Hannah, amazing, I loved it. But
she co-MC'd with John.
That's not the one I'm thinking of.
Oh, okay, but she did co-MC with John. I can't. Go ahead.
To go back to that thing you said about bad characteristics and like one of them not being prepared, I've definitely been guilty of that so many times because I'm so comfortable with like improvising, and even though I do consider myself pretty good at it, there's been a lot of times where it like bit me back. Like I underestimated it so hard. Like I was way too cocky, too confident, and then like there's these moments of like silence or like awkward moments. Like, oh man, I should have prepared for this more, even though I thought I was fine. So
that's
definitely something
usually how I feel again with every presentation I ever did, whether it's an MC or like a classroom presentation. A classroom presentation.
Fuck. I think there's nothing that upsets me more than a bad MC though. And this is no offense to you, Troy, but the thing is that the problem with having a bad MC is that not only does it reflect bad upon that person, but it also reflects bad upon the entire event.
Yeah, the whole event.
Organize it, the whole thing just kind of goes to shambles because even if you have really good performers, the whole in between, everything else, the glue that's supposed to bind it together is just
trash.
I think my worst MC performance was Mama 2018.
That was so fucking bad.
Yeah, like I did not prepare for it. I forgot.
You did that with Andrew, didn't you?
And I didn't know like the people's names, and I butchered him.
It was. Why would you even volunteer to go on stage if you're gonna pull that shit, bro? That pissed me off, dude.
He wanted that leadership experience.
Well, I like being an MC, but I didn't prepare for this one.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's like you like that power, you like that status. You want to be up on stage, but you don't want to. You don't want to put in the work.
Normally I do put in the work. Excuse me. I like to. I think I do decently well on as the MC.
I think that you have a lot of a certain type of confidence that will put you on that stage. but I don't know if it necessarily carries you all the way. And I say that because when I've seen you MC, I think that there's certain times where like you'll say something, but you won't follow through with what you're saying.
I see. I agree.
What does that mean?
Where
What
like
does that mean?
maybe I go on a tangent and then I just
And
leads
then you
to
You
just
just
nowhere.
don't finish it. You just don't
It
finish
just leads
it.
to, I'm like, and okay, cool guy.
One day I
And then
was
and then
walking
he'll,
on
like,
the
try to move
street.
on. But I mean, like the thing is that emceeing is not easy, you know, and
It's not.
Oh, for
it's-
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like what I get upset about MCs, but I understand how difficult it
Yeah.
can be. But
Yeah.
God, like I'm not gonna like don't
Yeah.
fucking volunteer to be an
Yeah.
MC if you're gonna fucking pull
Oh,
that.
Some
no, I
people
think
just
anger
don't
is
volunteer.
just
Remember when Michael did it with that one girl?
Yeah. Oh my
Well,
God.
it
You
was
know
like-
why that
It was
happened?
mid autumn. We know why
Yeah.
it happened.
What? You know why it happened?
Yeah, I know.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
We're
so
not
that
gonna
was
call out
just
names though.
no, but it was just a bad experience. And the reason, okay, so let's talk about that instance. And we won't have to say like who did what, but I think that was just a really, I'll say, interesting time because of the fact that there was no chemistry between either.
There was
either
not.
of them.
They were. I think they pulled a freshman and then Michael.
Yeah, and then it was
Oh.
just so much silence, and that's the
Oh.
worst part, man. No, like, come on, man, the dead air. You got to figure that shit. You have to figure out something to say, like some backup shit, man.
Yeah.
That pissed me
Oh
off.
my
Well,
God.
okay, I'll also admit that I've never stuck around to listen to MCs even during my own events. But like every time that I hop in or something and I hear it, I'm always out in the back. I never listen to what's going on stage.
How do
I'm
how do
always
you
like,
judge your own personal MC skills?
I don't think it's good.
I've
don't
seen.
think
I
it's
think you were
I've
MC
only
for Tally
emceed
by
one
Night.
event.
Tally by
Yeah,
Night.
that was it.
Really? That was
That
your
was-
only one?
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I didn't plan for it. I broke my own rule. I didn't plan for it well enough. And number two, I wasn't really expecting to have to do it. But I think that was completely my fault. I accept full responsibility for how I did. I think Vita did a really good job.
Vita is
Um,
a good MC.
She has a lot of really good energy. But yeah, okay, I'll name my mistakes. So I wasn't prepared, so I didn't have good things to say after each performer. So it ended up being the same thing over and over again. What was that one line that I said? Electrifying. or something like that.
Electrifying. It was electrifying.
It
Wow.
was
It's like,
electrifying.
he would say, "Wow, that's
Wow.
electrifying." after
Okay.
after every skit, he
Oh
he said,
my God.
"Wow."
Wow.
Wait, can that
Could
be
not
one of our
go.
merch T-shirts?
Wow.
It's like
Wow.
a Tanner's face and like a speech bubble.
It's an
Owen
Owen
Wilson
Will.
was
Yeah,
right,
he did
yeah.
Owen Wilson.
He owns the rights to that. But so that, I mean, okay, so that was really bad. In terms of dead air, I don't think that we had that much of that.
No,
that overall.
I wouldn't say dead air was the issue. It was just mainly that, like, you
It
didn't
was
have much to
bad
say.
air.
I
bad
think
air.
also like body language. I don't know if I look super comfortable on stage, but if you look uncomfortable on stage, you look like shit, bro. You look like a
Yeah.
fucking fish out of water.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, body language. I didn't think about that.
Okay. Well, so what would you say are some advice, some tips that you have, Troy? Since you're since you come from the land of improv.
Yeah. Well,
There is no
thing you wanna
advice. That's
do
the
is-
thing.
Yeah, you just gotta wing it.
Wow, yeah, you could think of it like that too, but I still think there's some tricks you could use. Like, even though it's called improv, right? You should know what the event is about first, right? Unless you're doing some crazy challenge to yourself where you want to blind MC something, right? And then just say the first thing that comes to your mind about the event. Hopefully, it's not
It's
racist.
not. It's not. Wow. There's a lot of Asians in here. Am I?
Electrified. Am I right? Honestly,
Yeah.
that might be okay if it was an ASU event.
And you're Asian too, and you can say
Do
it.
you guys have a fear of public speaking?
No.
No.
No, I
used to.
I still kind of, I still have anxiety when I speak in front of people, but I think it's definitely calmed down a lot. And then as I get into it, it'll chill.
It's good.
It's definitely. I still have like a tiny bit of a nerve like right before it, but then once I say my first word, I'm like, all right, I'm in it.
Yeah, for me, like the trick is not to look at anybody's eyes directly.
You're supposed to look at people's eyes.
Oh, I
like-
look at like head level. I look at like
Yeah,
eyebrow.
there's tricks like that.
There's
And
tricks
I
like
just-
that.
I scan.
I
But
sometimes I
imagine
just
that in
like
their
choose a
underwear.
person. I stare them down.
Dude, I hate when they do
That's
that
so
to me.
awful,
I think
man.
it's
I'm in
so
the audience,
it's so
and I'm
funny to
watching
me.
them, they stare at me for 10 seconds. Like 1, 2, 3.
Maybe not
And
that
I'm like
low.
nodding as I'm listening to them, like, yep.
Do you imagine people with their
6,
without their
7.
clothes on?
No.
No, I was asking if you guys did.
That would give me a boner or something.
Oh, that's true. No. But yeah, I have no fear of public speaking. Like, even if I may stutter every now and then, or maybe say something incorrectly, I think it's very fine. But one interesting thing is that I'm always scared to play music in front of people. Even though I've done it since I was like 6 or 7 years old, it doesn't get better. I just learn to deal with it. But I'm always scared.
I remember when you told me that, dude. I was like,
You're
fuck.
scared to
Yeah.
miss like one note or something or one
Yeah,
chord.
because
Because
in
it's
music,
amplified.
at least for me, when you mess up once, that allows a gigantic snowball effect. If I mess up one note, maybe the next 5 are gone too, you know? Especially if I'm playing something fast. So,
And it's also, I think it's a matter of pride, because music for musicians comes directly from like their soul.
yeah.
Right? Well, I think. And like, so it's like, it's a product of
No.
you. It's not like, so if you know that you're shit at public speaking and you do a shitty public speech, it's like, whatever, dude, I suck at public speaking. That's not my forte. That's not where
Yeah.
my emotion comes from. But when you play
Yeah.
music and that's where your emotion comes from, it's like, wow, dude, I just fucked up the one thing that.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I didn't think about that until now, but if you mess up public speaking, it's for some reason not as bad as messing up music, you know?
Yeah.
I didn't think about that, but I think that's true.
Okay, so you know how like when you play like Guitar Hero, there's like a percentage correct?
Yes.
Would you say normally you're 100% on stage, or do you?
No.
Okay.
No, I feel like I'm somewhere from at least 90. I'm usually at
You
least
always
90.
hit that 90.
Yeah, I think I always hit 90.
I feel like a lot of it, like non like musicians don't even notice that 10% like mess up.
Wow, that's such another way to look at it.
That's
The
a
Guitar
good-
Hero percentage bar. I'm gonna think about
in the
that now.
green meter at the
Yeah,
very
I'm literally thinking about Guitar Hero.
Yeah. And then the more you swing your whammy bar, the more points you get.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's the
Even if
bonus.
it sounds weird, just do it.
And then you just gotta swing it up, and then everybody would just
Oh,
start.
yeah.
screaming,
Everyone
bro.
stands up and they wave their hands.
Yeah, and the whole stage turns blue.
Wow.
But yeah, I think I'm at like an 80% because I get really nervous when I play on stage, and
Yeah.
it has
It to be really bad for like people like me to notice,
Uh-huh.
like where it's
That's it.
obviously bad.
Oh yeah. So if you don't know too much about music or don't play it yourself, I mean, there's more leeway, right, for your perception. But for sure, like,
So like yeah,
So
if
not
you
only
miss
am I
out-
scared in general.
The thing is, everybody can tell a bad singer.
yes,
And that's universal, bro. Everybody can hear a
Yeah.
bad singer.
yeah, regardless of your instrument, like past.
Yeah.
or
because
whatever.
that's your instrument.
Yeah, because everyone can
It's
sing
just,
to a decent.
it's just a
I think-
non-tuned instrument.
I think that like being a bad singer is worse than being a bad guitarist in
Oh, for
terms
sure.
of like the
Well, of
shade
Sure,
that you
it
feel.
is. It's a big shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like the MC versus the whole event and performance, right? You're the face of that band. You're
Yeah.
the singer, right?
But not only because for me, it's not only because of that, but it's also because your voice isn't really something that you can change.
Yeah, you
very
can't change
much.
that guitar. You can't actually. I think you can get better at singing.
You can get better at singing, but your voice.
But
you
the
have a
sound
certain-
of the
yeah,
voice,
the
you have a
sound.
certain
yeah,
tonality.
you're born with the sound of your voice.
So if you sound like shit, that's you, man. That's
Yeah.
that's actually.
So even if
when
you're
it's your
hitting
guitar, it's
notes
like
correctly-
yeah. When it's your guitar, it's like I had a broken pickup or my string was out of tune or some shit like that. But you
Yeah.
can't just say my vocal cords were
Out of
untuned
tune.
or some shit.
I
Yeah.
feel
you
like
can, right?
a lot of singers do, like they're sick or they're tired. Like
Oh, that's true.
I watch
that
a
is
lot of
true.
live videos on YouTube of like bands performing, and every time they don't do that well, I scroll down to the comments, and all the comments are like, "Oh man, that's rough. That was like his third set that night. I understand that he had a tired throat."
Yeah.
I see it a lot. So. But yeah,
Yeah. So I don't envy singers.
yeah, that's true. But I mean, it is a high risk, high reward. Like if they
'cause
do it
they-
right, they're gonna get the most praise. You know?
You're the coolest person. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, I
The
thought.
best.
I've always thought it was the solo guitar guy. Whenever Troy hits the solo, everyone goes crazy.
That's true, but it's only like one moment, you know. Whereas
it
the
is
singers
a
they have
one
the whole
moment, but
time.
they're like
And-
they're freaking out.
and the
I think
singer
it's-
is more relatable. People can sing along. you
Yeah,
know?
they can't just.
Yeah, they can't go meow meow meow. meow. Well, actually, some people did, but Tanner and
I don't think we ever did that. I wish we had done that on stage where we
Oh,
Like just an
like in the
acapella
mic.
version.
where we mimicked where we
Oh,
meow,
man.
meow, 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 meow. Yeah. But-
Meow, meow.
I think that because for the guitarists, it's like because they have that one moment of like
The spotlight.
very like
Yeah.
the energy is just all in one spot. But for the song,
Yeah.
like it's carried out by the vocalist throughout.
Yeah, yeah. The song as a whole, it's up to the vocalist.
Yeah. You should be. I think that for the future when we have like talk singing, like because that seems like a really big thing nowadays.
Talk
where
singing?
people- yeah, you know, like songs where like vocalists are just kind of like they're kind of.
And then I went out to the movies.
Kind of, but with more melody, right?
And then I went out to the movies.
I guess so.
Exactly like that. Exactly.
Perfect. Perfect.
Wow. It's like
just
Johnny
rap.
Cash. Like,
dude, you should be a rapper.
I feel like Johnny Cash can do that.
Well, yeah, so he kind of does that, but like it's weird because he has like this musicality in his voice, even when he's just talking.
Yeah, he like whenever he talks, he sings.
Yeah,
So that's why he's perfect.
he could. Yeah.
Tanner, what were you saying about like for the future purposes about like talk singing? Like, what were you gonna say about it?
I kind of forgot, but it was more along the lines of like.
You said you should or like something.
Yeah.
And then you just stopped.
Yeah, I think were you talking to me specifically? Like, I should do something?
Or were you talking?
No, I think I was talking to Jason.
Okay.
Because Jason can't sing, but he can talk for fucking hours. But anyways, I don't remember what I was gonna say on that.
I've hurt myself today.
Wait, that's getting kind of dark. Like,
It's
you
a
don't know
Johnny
if he's
Cash.
telling
It's a
the
Johnny
truth or not.
Cash song.
Oh, I never heard him. So
My God.
Yeah, it was a cover. It was a cover. Of,
Yeah, it was a cover. What?
9 Inch Nails.
Nine
which
Inch-
I think
it
is
was,
like
yeah.
a heavy metal band.
Yeah, they were. So it was. Then when they heard it, they were like, "What the fuck? This is insane."
That's
I went-
weird that you have like this country singer cover your song.
He went
What,
to.
what would-
That was a. I went to a Johnny Cash museum and they kept playing that and like did the whole like story of it
of that song of that
there's
cover?
a
that
Johnny
song,
Cash
yeah.
museum.
in
Where's the
Nashville.
Johnny- Oh
Nashville.
shit!
Okay.
It's
Is that
not
where he
work-
was born?
No,
I heard. Okay, I
he's
heard
from
a story.
Memphis, I think.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
that's even cooler. I heard a story that when Johnny Cash was younger, he was taking vocal lessons,
I did.
and his teacher was like, "Okay, you need to stop taking vocal lessons from me because your voice has this kind of thing to it that if I were to continue to train you, you would lose it and you wouldn't be as
Oh, I
good."
thought you were about to say like he was
Whoa.
trash. The vocals.
No.
were like, you'll never amount to anything. He was like,
That's
Imagine
also a
that,
very
like,
common
I've
backstory
hurt
too.
my-
Where you were so good that they were like, "Wait, I can't teach you anymore. You're a."
You're better. You're already better than I can teach you.
Yeah, that's a
That's
pretty
like that's
common
what we
story.
call a prodigy.
Whoa.
Yeah, Johnny Cash.
Do you guys think
museums-
you're a prodigy at anything?
No, maybe Troy at guitar.
Troy's a.
I made so much progress like when I first started piano and guitar and drums, but the problem is like I can't reach that advanced level. That's what I'm trying to get at right now, but it's that mountain is so hard to climb. I feel
Are
like I'm
prodigies
on a 90 degree
advanced?
slope.
Would you say all prodigies are advanced level, or they have to be advanced level, or they just
I
can?
think, well, for sure they have to be advanced for their age, but in terms of advanced in general, I'm not sure how it's defined.
I think to be a prodigy,
be
you
a
have to
speed-eating prodigy.
Yeah, I think it's a speed thing, like how
No,
fast
so
you can.
you're a
learn.
speed eating
Oh.
prodigy.
Oh, I mean, like
Yeah.
how fast you can learn something. I think is what makes you a prodigy.
Oh, the speed of learning? Yeah, that's probably
so
part
like
of it
some
too.
math prodigies, they can learn calculus by the time they're 5 or something, and that's
Yeah,
like
something like
kind of
that.
usually something expected out of a 17-year-old.
Yeah, they usually call that prodigy, yeah.
Yeah. Did you say
Would
I'm a speed eating guy? No.
Yeah, because you can eat
I can eat
disgustingly
Dude,
fast.
he's so fast.
fast. I eat
disgustingly
fast,
fast.
but not like these speed competitor eaters.
That's true. But would you guys? Okay, so I guess I'm thinking in terms of what do you call those savant autists?
Yeah.
Would you
savants.
guys give up
Oh.
some of your social skills?
No.
To gain some sort of like prodigal?
No.
No,
No.
because I want to earn that myself. I want to know, like.
Well, you
if I
act
get-
like these guys
in the
don't
future-
earn it themselves in a way. Like,
I mean,
Wait,
well,
man.
that's scientifically true, right?
no, I mean, they
I
like
don't know.
like
Yeah.
I'm not saying all of it
What
is
do you mean
given to
by-
them.
What do you mean by earning it? I mean, they still have to work really hard.
Because if I do this magical deal where I earn some skill
Oh, okay.
for giving
no,
up
it's
some...
not magic. He's saying if you were actually born with it.
Yeah, would you trade
Oh,
like
just
if you could
switch.
like turn the scales?
Yeah, we're not giving you a fucking wizard standing in
wouldn't-
front of
you
you.
Oh, I
wouldn't
thought it was
trade
like
your
I thought it was
soul?
like pushing a button and like. Okay.
You wouldn't sell your soul to the devil for ungodly guitar powers?
But but then you also be like
But I just
socially
said I wouldn't.
socially anxious and like you can't have a proper conversation with anyone.
Yeah,
That's true.
I feel like no. I have all the tools to like become as good as I need. I just have to put it, and then I'll keep my social skills or whatever right at the same time.
That's true.
So I'm not gonna give up anything. I'm just gonna add.
You have to give up something. You always have to
Well,
give up something.
Oh, you have to give up time.
Yeah,
The
I
Time
think
opportunity
and effort.
cost.
yeah,
Time
you do. I feel like, and to go off of that opportunity costing, like you definitely have to give up some of your own social life, because to become
Oh,
an
that's
expert at something, you have to
Yeah.
take away time from interacting with other people. And when you like see those movies of those people that are super hardworking and super good at something,
Mhm.
they're usually troubled, like mentally, like they're fucked up. You know?
Or they
Yeah,
sacrifice this
look at
important
Mark
time period in their
Zuckerberg.
life.
Look how awkward he looks and acts.
Well, I wonder, he can't be like I don't know. I've never seen like an actual interaction of him.
Yeah.
You never seen him at Congress when he's just like.
Yeah.
No, I think I see.
He licked it. He
No,
licked
no,
the
no,
water.
no. I'm it's going back to like the whole theory that he's a reptilian species.
Yeah. So I've never seen much of him either to make a judging point, but one good defense comment that might be valid was like, it doesn't matter who you are, how comfortable you are. If you're in his situation with like 1,000 cameras and people like faces like in front of your face, you would be that weird too. And I was like, maybe.
But even
I
like
have no proof
he's
otherwise.
made like personal videos, like YouTube video, and then like you could see like how awkward he is.
Oh, I have not seen those.
And like I think I don't know for sure, but I think he has crazy eyes. And
Crazy eyes?
Crazy eyes are like
a lazy eye.
No, crazy eyes. When you can see the
like
white,
oh, wow.
if you can see the white on the top of
Above.
their eye, above your pupil, then those are crazy eyes. Like right now, I'm fine.
Oh.
But if I just walk around like this,
Yeah, but are you
No.
are you trying to say crazy eyes come about from like being poor socially, or are you saying crazy eyes are just something you're born with, and then
I think
Just
I
have
think he has crazy eyes, and he's like
so it's just
awkward.
a double negative?
It's a double negative.
Oh man.
No, like they're mutually exclusive. But if they're
Rest in
together,
peace.
then sure, that's just
It's a recipe for
that's a
reptilian.
double-edged sword.
That's not a double.
yeah.
No, it's not. It's not a double-edged sword. Let me just use these idioms or whatever. Is that an idiom?
It does sound smart. Wait, that's
Yeah.
ironic. Like
It's
you-
ironic.
another
No,
word.
I don't know if that's a. Okay.
This whole situation is. Do you see what we're doing? Like we're going from word to word to describe another. Describe.
I'm just
My
trying to,
teacher used to use the word irony to mean sarcastic, and it kind of pissed me
Oh,
off.
was this
But
an
I guess it
English
was-
teacher?
Yes, dude, it was my literature teacher, and she'd be like, "Are you being ironic with me when you would like be sarcastic?" I'd be like, "What the?"
Dude, what if it was like a deep level joke that made sense, but you didn't understand?
Dude, like it was ironic that she would use the word ironic.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what if she knew that? You know?
Whoa.
Oh yeah, because she's
Yeah.
an English teacher, and
Unexpected,
it's
yeah.
ironic that an English teacher doesn't
She
know
was
irony.
teaching me at another level that I was just
Yeah,
not.
maybe she was trying to make you question her. Like, I hope Tanner notices I said it wrong. And then Tanner sits there like, yeah, sure thing. And she's
All right,
like,
whatever,
She dies a little
teach.
on the inside.
Did you guys ever have a teacher that really inspired you or really made you be like, wow, they're my role model?
Not
Or
for me.
actually, like was
role
like,
model is a very strong word.
No,
okay,
they're-
yeah, role model's a little strong, but like really pushed you, that believed in you.
not specifically for me, but I know like I think my ex at a time like she was really close with her English teacher, and like
Yeah.
they became like super close, and like that was her like one of her driving forces to like succeed.
That's nice.
It was nice.
My TLK teacher in high school,
TLK,
yeah, theory of knowledge, was for IB.
Represent.
tongues, legs, and
When there were a
knees.
lot of classes where I had finished my work or we didn't have that much for the day, he would let me go to the drama building to go practice piano for my upcoming exam for FSU. Told him
Damn.
about it. And he was like, yeah, go and get out of here. Go ahead and just go practice. And I was like, thank you.
Go on,
But-
scram.
I felt so bad when I didn't pass. Like he gave me like so much extra time and like an environment to like get better.
You didn't give it back, man.
I
Would-
didn't.
Would you cry to him?
Did
Did you cry to him like when you didn't get it?
No, I mean I told him, and he said you gave it your best. Maybe try again. And I tried again, and I failed again.
Oh, this guy. Actually,
Two
now that I think
classic
about it,
coming
the
of age
only
stories.
the only teacher that really like gave a shit that I felt like that gave a shit about me was the one teacher I did the Hitler speech to.
Oh yeah. But by the way, I still thought that was a fake story when you were telling that.
No, it's a real story. Like I actually did it, and like afterwards, like we were cool. Like I was a junior at that point, and I would show up to his class and just like chill with him, and then he would introduce
nice.
me. He would introduce me to his class, like, guys, Jason is a smart guy, but don't ever do what he did and try to argue that Hitler was a good leader. And everyone's like, wow.
No, I feel like you could.
Well, don't come unprepared like me.
Yeah. Oh, you came unprepared, right?
See, I winged it. I tried to use improv for
Definitely. If you planned it out, if that's the premise, Hitler was a good leader instead of like a good person, right? If it just says leader, you could find some good stuff.
You
Probably.
could have argued that.
Yeah, I could have, but I didn't. I thought that one.
Next time.
I had.
Next time.
Next time I'll come back to him. Well,
For our next team meeting at work, all right? I want you to come in and present to argue.
Do you guys feel like you ever had a teacher that really just shat on you? It just made you feel like, fuck, I shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had a teacher so bad.
I hated that teacher. This
Well,
this was algebra 2, and I was not doing too well in it. I think my fourth quarter grade was a D plus, and she was
Oh
just,
my god,
she's
bro.
like, and I went up to her and she like asked me to stay back after class and like, Jason, you're not ready for what's after
Calc?
algebra 2, like I think it is calc.
yeah.
And then she's like, you're not ready. You can't do it. You're not. You're just gonna fail. And I'm like, oh.
I mean,
But like, and I was like, I think I could do it. And she's like, no, you don't. When your parents can override it if they sign their signature on your like class schedule for the next one. She's like, no.
Yeah.
If they sign it, I'm just gonna reject it.
Oh my god.
And then I'm
So
like,
she-
oh. So then I went to integrate
I think
it.
she was right to tell you that, but I think she was wrong in the way she told you it. Like, so that same thing happened in my class. I guess that is a normal thing where some students get to move on to calc and some like move on to whatever it was called.
Algebra 2 is the last math that you have to take.
Yeah, but for IB we had this secondary thing where like we gonna do good in IB calculus, so we have a second IB math course for them that's like way easier. It's like fractions or whatever.
I think it was trigonometry that they put me in.
Oh, this was even easier. It was like something
Trig is hard.
so basic.
It was
yeah.
When you get to college level trig, I guess.
Oh yeah, sorry.
It was easy because it was just algebra 2. It was like trigonometry of algebra 2.
Oh,
So I was just with like dumbasses who were like
so
seniors.
those moments happen too. A lot of our friends went around and showed the
Troy,
whether
you
or
cut
not
out?
like whether or not their parents or like the teacher like let them move on. And so that was a lot of interesting discussion. Some people were like, I didn't make it, I want to go, right? And but they couldn't get to go.
And also the AB calculus teacher told me I wasn't good enough too.
Oh
yeah, well, I guess you just weren't good enough, man. They were just trying to help you.
They were trying to help you
It's
out.
better
but-
that a teacher just tells you that you're shit at something when because they've got more wisdom than you, man.
Oh, dude.
Maybe they just know that you're shit, and they're just trying to protect you from having.
hurting yourself.
Yeah,
Like
from
imagine
hurting
if you got an F in high school calculus because you.
But
you
then
bit
I
too
like
much
when
off.
but then I got into college and then I took calculus or business calc or whatever, which is
Yeah,
like,
but that's later.
Calc is
Like,
not real calc.
at that point, like
It's
maybe
still
you really
calculus.
weren't ready. At that point, you probably truly weren't ready.
Maybe, I don't
especially if your grade was a D plus at that time. How can you make such a big jump?
it was okay, so it was A, B, B, D plus.
Oh,
So when
So
they
you
actually
just-
started getting into algebra 2, you started your grades started getting worse.
That might have been it. It could have been it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't.
But I will say that algebra 2 is it's a lot more laborious. Like there's a lot more you have
Yeah.
to write out.
I
and stuff like
hated
that.
all the
So-
homework she assigned. And now, now that I look back at it, I'm like, it was just like 15 problems. Like, why couldn't I just do that?
Yeah, right? Like looking back at homework you used to have to do, it's like, dude, why the fuck was I complaining?
okay.
Why the
Actually,
fuck-
no. My case is the opposite. IB was so hard and horrible that like college was a lot easier.
Oh,
than
yeah,
it.
college is
So
easy.
every time I look back, I'm like, I cannot believe we were doing these like high college level like stuff
And
in
you
like
did-
9th and 10th
I
grade.
remember it was
And
like
then-
2 through 50, even problems only, 68, 69, 67, and then I was like, fuck it, I'll just go to the back of the book and just copy the answers. And she's like, where's your work? I'm like, did it all in my head.
Wow.
That's why she said you weren't ready, bro. You
Dang,
just
Jason,
weren't ready.
you're not ready.
Bringing bad memories.
Hand in your pencil.
And then you're-
My G2, no.
that's really
Gunning
strange
that.
to me because I've never I'd see in movies where you'd have these teachers that just completely shit on a student. They're like, yeah, you
Mhm.
don't deserve to be here. And then the kid, obviously it's a movie, so the kid comes back.
You
and he
don't
ends
got
up
what it
learning
takes,
something
kid.
Yeah, with that
Right.
accent.
You'll never be like your father.
wrong. But then it turns out those teachers are real, and then, well, I guess you're not the movie kind of kid, so you didn't make
Yeah.
it back. And
No,
I'm sure. Yeah, those moments probably do happen, but like way less probably in real life. Probably way less.
Wait, so
Yeah.
no, so it never happened to you, Tanner. You never.
I
had it.
never. No, I never had a teacher that shot on me, but I did have that one teacher, and I don't know if I mentioned on
Was
this
it the
podcast.
irony teacher that you just mentioned?
No, it was a different.
She was the teacher that shit on me.
No,
That was the
no,
irony.
nobody respected that teacher though, and I felt so bad because she was like she was
Aw.
fresh out of grad school or something like that. But I had this
someone was
one
fucking
teacher.
her.
I had this one teacher at one point where I did really good at the beginning of her class. In fact, I got no questions wrong on one of her first quizzes that like everybody was bombing. I was like, well, I'm pretty fucking good.
What class is
And
this?
then like this was AP Lang. And then from then on out, I was super shit. But like at one point, dude, she came up to me and she mouthed, "You're fucking up." And at
Oh,
that
you told
moment,
this. I remember this.
yeah.
I
And then
don't
I was like,
remember this.
"Oh my god, bro! Like, fuck. If she's willing to say that to me, bro." And she's like
Did that change it
40
around
or
for you?
50-year-old.
She.
No, it didn't, dude. I was so shit at
You
it
still
didn't help me be. Yeah, I was so shit at language arts, bro. That wasn't changing, man. And I was super shit at AP Lit as well. And then I was super shit at all my.
Did you
language
pass
arts
any of them?
classes.
Either of them?
No, I didn't pass AP Lang. I didn't pass AP Lit. I passed the classes. I got A's in the
Yeah,
classes.
that's fine.
I didn't
Oh.
pass the tests.
Like
I got like 1s and 2s, bro.
Jesus, dude.
Dang.
I didn't. Yeah, I just didn't care for the subject, and I just didn't apply myself. I was just like,
So it was more of a passion thing. You didn't like it. In fact, you didn't like it so much that you just didn't really.
I
Yeah.
think I was the opposite for AP Lit. I loved AP Lit. I loved the class. I loved writing the essays.
Uh-huh.
But I only got a 2 on the exam.
No, but so for AP Lit, you have to read all these books, bro. But
Yeah.
why,
I get-
the thing is, like, why would you
1984.
read those things when you have Schmoops and you could just schmoops that shit, bro?
Schmoop? Was it called Schmoops or what was the other?
Schmoops?
There was another one.
There's another one called something notes, Spark Notes.
Spark.
Yeah,
Notes,
Spark
right.
Notes.
Schmoops is better though. A1.
I've never heard of it until now.
I think I might have
It's
heard of it.
so good. But anyways, yeah. So that's why I bombed everything.
Passion.
Yeah, you gotta love what you do.
Wait. So come
No,
up with
no.
some opposite things. So Jason kind of said opposite one. He loved it, but he didn't. Is there something that you hate but you're good at it?
I hate killing, but I'm good at it.
Oh, Tanner.
No, I don't think there is. I don't think that I'm particularly good at anything. I think that
a
I'm
jack
just
of all
kinda-
trades.
A jack of all
I
trades.
don't consider myself a jack of all trades.
A master of none.
Yeah.
You know that
I think that I just,
shoe game is one of Jason's pros.
Oh my god. No, I said.
dude, no, bro, not like if he's like a
An
young
amateur.
grasshopper.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
I never said I was good at. I said I'm just like these are things I'm amateur at.
No, you said. I remember when you were listing off stuff like I'm good at this. So
Okay,
social
so
media.
when I
shoe
say
game.
when I say good, I mean like
Mediocre.
mediocre. Like I'm at least
Sure.
like competent in it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that was one of the things you said. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, you shouldn't have said it if you didn't mean it. Okay, Jason.
I lie all the time.
All the time.
All the
Even now.
I think I'm a
Which
real.
means he's telling
Okay.
the
I
truth.
think I'm a really good bullshitter though.
I don't think so.
No,
I think other people. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's because I know you, but like
You
I
think
know
people
what
are just
you're fucking
gullible?
talking. I think people are just gullible, dude. Because like whenever, even Troy, dude, and it pisses me off. I'm like, Troy, why are you fucking falling for this shit? You can see he's lying. You can see that shit-eating grin on his face, and it's like, God damn it.
Sometimes I don't like. Sometimes I'm like I'm so like I'm
No,
serious.
bro.
Though. I don't
I
even.
feel like
have it.
sometimes his face is normal, or I can't even see his face,
bro.
and I
No,
believe it.
see- I can hear it, bro. I fucking hear it, dude. In the cackling of his mouth, somewhere inside of his fucking.
See, the eye squint and the upward smile.
Yes, there's something in there, bro, and I fucking hear it, and it just.
I think
like,
it's
shut
so
the fuck
fucking
up,
fun.
kid.
I think it's funny as fuck.
I think it's just so. It pisses me off that
Some people fall for it. So
Yeah,
you're not
I'm
pissed
so
at me.
sorry. Can you
I am pissed at you too, but I'm pissed at because Troy falls for it. Michael Cho falls for it too.
Michael Cho's okay.
he
Okay,
falls
Michael
for
Cho.
everything.
Michael Cho falls for everything. Okay.
Yeah,
You can't count him.
Yeah, you can't count him. But Troy,
whatever, man. Yeah, Troy falls for
Can
it
you name the
sometimes.
last thing that I fell for? I'm not saying I don't believe you. I just want to remember.
Pessimistically and
Yo, I believe that shit.
Wait, what was that?
what's the I said optimistically and pessimistically, and I was telling Troy about the origin of how these two words came to be, and it was these two Greek gods, optimistically and
Oh my God, Troy! Right from the get go, it sounds like bullshit. How the?
Okay, now here to make you feel a little better. I was a little skeptical, like 5%, 5%. It wasn't 100, you know.
All right. Continue story about the gods.
and it's like optimistically, he believes that everything like the good will come to him, and he doesn't have to try to achieve greatness. Whereas pessimistically believes that the world is against him, so he has to work hard and do and actually like work hard, put on a good work ethic to achieve any goals he sets. And like it sounds kind of like opposite, and that's why I was like, oh, but then
dude,
that's how
that
he
was the
derived
trick.
it.
That was the trick, dude. So I'm a very detail-oriented person. So instead of looking at the macro as a whole, I caught on that detail. I was like, Jason, don't you think it'd be the opposite? Because optimistically, like he does action because he's hopeful, and pessimistically doesn't do anything because he says it's not worth it anyway or something like that. And then we just kept going back and forth, and then I bought into it more and more. And I was like, dang, this is a good story, actually.
I'm learning a lot. I really identify with pessimistically, actually.
Yeah, I think I'm more of a pessimistically.
When it comes to lying, it definitely helps to spread to sprinkle
Details.
Like,
I
logic
think to
and
drill,
truth
you have
in
to
there,
be able to
you know?
drill down. I think so. When
You
they
should put this on your LinkedIn
You
profile.
have to.
how to
Yeah.
bullshit.
I
I can't bullshit to sell something though, because I would feel
Oh.
like guilty.
Oh, morals.
Yeah,
I see.
like I
Kinda
couldn't
like-
tell you like this knife is so sharp could cut through your wife's neck.
Oh,
But most knives are that sharp, though.
But
So you would be lying.
I wouldn't be lying. But like I was just making something up. I couldn't.
yeah.
See, you're a bad bullshitter,
Improv,
bro. See,
exactly.
That's what it,
See, yeah.
No, he didn't say he was a good improv.
I told you I was bad at selling something.
but I ain't buying.
I can bullshit though. Sell me this pen. Write down your phone number for me right there.
Wow.
Okay.
I don't have a pen. Boom, supply and demand.
I read one of the smart answers to that serious question in an interview was to ask the client or interviewer, like, why do they use a pen? How often do they use a pen? Get into the subject of like the serious stuff they use the pen for. And at the very end, all you say is, so that's all the more reason why you need to buy this pen. And then they stand up in the slow clap, and then they give you the position. Crazy.
That
I don't know. I feel like
Something I just read.
yeah, I feel like you shouldn't for those selling ones. You shouldn't really like go for like those rule of thumb answers. Because like they would already know about those. Like like as those like managing directors.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm sure they know pretty much all the answers, but like, what would you even say? I still think that's a hard question, even though you can Google.
No, I don't think I could be good at that.
Like,
question.
I don't know what I would even say, like originally by myself.
I would try to like do my own version of supply and demand.
Oh, well, at least that's a decent first thing to go with, and you could get.
But then like,
decent
oh, you
following.
saw Wolf of Wall Street? Oh, yeah, I did.
Oh,
Because that was like a big pivotal part of the movie. Not really.
oh. Then you almost got me again.
What do you mean? It was a part of the movie. That wasn't even me like trying to bullshit you. No.
He's so good, I can't even tell anymore.
There was this one, I think like multiple times where I like tried to bullshit people. Oh, back when I was a junior or senior and I was dating my ex at the time. And for a whole year, I convinced her that I was a hardcore anti-global warming person. And I did it jokingly. And I did it jokingly like the
And
first
she
time.
stayed with you.
No, well, yeah. But like, the first time we had like
well, it says a lot about her.
the first time we had the debate, I was just like kind of like hamming it up, trying to make it sound like it's a joke. Like there's no way you can believe that. I believe that polar bears are not worth it or something. And then, but then like I forgot how like the debate ended, and I guess she just like took into heart what I said, and for the whole
Uh-huh.
year she's just like, this fucking guy doesn't believe
But
polar bears are worth it. And then after a
And she
year,
stayed.
she was just like, I still can't believe you don't believe global warming's real. I'm like, you understand that was all a joke, right? Like, I was just bullshitting you.
Wow.
She's like, you're kidding me, right?
And then that's when things started going downhill. You should have
No.
never revealed it.
I should have never revealed it.
She held onto that conflicting side with you because it was addicting. But then once that was gone, she was like, I have nothing left.
I have nothing. What is my purpose? I was trying to change him, change his point of view. But
When there's no more conflict, there's no more purpose.
that's right.
The world needs conflict.
And that's how peace is achieved. Peace is
Can you have peace without conflict?
no. Peace is the
think you
acceptance
can.
of evil.
Really?
Yes.
Is that really the best way to?
That's how I see it. I think it's the acceptance that there are evils, or there is a
mean-
yin to your yang.
I mean, just because we accept that there's evil, people are still doing evil. You know, like
But like,
I'm like, yeah, I accept that this is wrong, and then I freaking stab this woman in the neck. You know.
I have created
accept
peace.
but like you have to accept that something is different. Like evil can also be like about perspective, I think,
Okay.
because like a freedom fighter for.
So you don't think that there are things that are truly evil
I mean, I'm sure there is.
from all perspectives?
I'm sure there are some things.
Killing, right? It's pretty easy.
Are there things that are truly peaceful?
Jerking off
Going
is
to
always
going to
peaceful.
brunch with someone is a sign of peace.
Oh, I was like, jerking off is very peaceful, but then sometimes
Not
at night-
necessarily.
yeah,
it could
might.
be evil.
It's a sin,
That's right.
and we've all sinned like multiple times, sometimes more than once a day,
Sometimes 8 times a day.
sometimes about 8 times a day,
And then the evil starts to chafe, and then you're like, oh.
and then you run out of evil, and that's how you achieve.
I have
peace.
purged all the evil from my body.
Wow, who would have thought that's the way to become pure?
Mhm.
It's
But then you wake up in the next morning, it's back to normal.
The evil's back again. You have to.
You have to.
Wait, that
you
kind
have
of
to-
sucks.
you have
That's
to
like a lot of
drain-
work. That's a lot of work for not that much time of peace.
You
You
have
know,
to drain the lake.
that's a fast filling lake. What the heck?
Where does it come
It's
from?
like it's like that in Harry Potter that the goblet that Dumbledore has to continuously drink out of.
Is that a thing?
Oh.
What the fuck
Yeah,
is
he
that?
has
It's so dumb.
It's a never ending like bowl of
Is it
like
the
this
goblet
water
of
that when he
fire?
drinks- No, but yeah.
Well, that's the name of one
That
of the
sucks.
books.
He's so powerful, but he's subject to become this cup slave. He can't like make a spell that will like keep it going in a circle, like adding to a lake or something.
Why couldn't he like? Isn't that like a renewable resource right there? It's
He could end world thirst.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, that's just.
but it's like wine or something maybe.
No, I don't know. It was like when you drink it, you feel excruciating pain.
What?
So I don't know about ending
Worse.
world thirst, but
Oh,
Yeah.
what? It's not a good thing.
no, yeah, he had to continuously drink it so that he could get to the bottom of it. And then there was something once he drank all of it.
What was that?
But like when he would stop, I think it was a Horcrux. I don't know if you've watched Harry Potter.
I know
It
what a
was-
Horcrux is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dementors flying everywhere.
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
jeez.
But yeah.
Wow.
So, before we end this podcast, do you guys? I know that we talked about not having any expectations or goals that
Mhm.
because New Year's resolutions are bullshit. But do you have
If we were
anything?
to,
If you were to,
I thought
actually,
I
I
already
want
said
to.
it.
hypothetical.
I want to mention that I did have a New Year's resolution last year,
Whoa.
did.
Wow, a hypocrite.
and it's true. And it was to use the stairs as often as possible, like
Really?
or always use it unless you really unless
what
You
a
have to.
lame New Year's
which is like
Okay.
having to carry something like really big or something like that.
Okay, sure.
But and I kept to it for pretty
Okay.
much the entire year.
So I'm no scientist or exercise science genius, but don't you think that maybe taking the stairs is a little overrated? Like I wonder how many extra calories that burns.
Yeah, I mean the thing is that I worked in a building where I had to climb the stairs pretty much every day. Like I had to climb 5 flights every day,
That's
up
a
and
lot of flights.
a couple times. Yeah. So I mean, it was just more of like a sake of just something to do.
You know what? If anything, I
Feel
feel
a
like
bit
the
more.
main benefit, it could be really good. I mean, I feel like it probably doesn't make you that much healthier, but
Imagine
it could do
your
good
joints.
things in your mind, right? It could make you a better person. You know how like when
Makes
I
you
was
work
taught,
harder for the things that you want to get. I
Yeah,
want to
so-
get up there so I can sit.
Imagine
like
all
making
your
your
joint
bed, right?
pains now, that your arthritis in your knees now.
oh, you're just increasing it. Well, I was gonna say, making your bed. So making your bed technically doesn't make sense, like mechanically, like you're gonna mess it up anyway, right? But I heard the main point of making your bed is to like make you a better person. You know, like it instills
You're
that
making the bed, you're
discipline in
making
you.
yourself.
Yeah, or something like
You
that.
wet the bed. That's what I do.
You what?
I wet the bed.
All right, it's about that time, everyone.
Wait,
Thank
wait,
for
you didn't
coming
say
in.
what your goal would be.
Oh,
new
I already
year.
said mine, like earlier.
Not wetting the bed?
No, like earlier, like how we started this podcast.
All right. Getting an MBA.
Yeah, or masters.
we should
joining
talk
the
more about
NBA.
that next time.
Joining
the NBA.
the WNBA.
What about you, Troy?
I didn't really think about it too much, but I mean, it would just be the same thing that I've been trying to do, like
Walk
focus
upstairs.
on making like
Oh.
all types of music. So like I have like this electronic album that I'm trying to come out, and you know Jason's gonna like it. I hope he likes it. And then I'm
Are
coming
you actually
out
working
with,
on
you know,
that? I hate,
Yes.
I haven't
Your
seen-
your goal or resolution should be to drop that album.
Drop that album.
drop it.
that album.
Oh, I thought you meant like give it up.
My God, Troy,
Let it go, bro.
just give up. Give.
I was like, what kind of resolution?
Tanner is like that. My fucking teacher. Give up.
But you know, you're gonna be the Karate Kid. You're gonna come back and you're gonna kick my butt and you're gonna drop. You're gonna be the next Millennium, and then all the ABGs are gonna be all over you. So
Oh, all the ABGs, nice,
yeah,
and all their small dogs in their purses.
I don't think that's ABG. That's more like
and all their wingtips and
Yes.
all their
Yes.
blonde hair. They're platinum.
Do they like Starbucks as well?
and all their colored contacts.
Yes, they all have colored contacts. Troy, you're just like describing like white women.
You're describing the plot to Legally Blonde.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
People
you
with the wall
were.
on
You're describing the legally blonde girl.
Wow.
Wow, I didn't never realized.
What have I become?
Oh, anyways,
That's my next New Year's resolution. Become a better person
become a better person.
that sees the true people in everybody.
You should make a New Year's resolution not to like fall for any of my bullshit things anymore.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. I'm gonna be super skeptical.
Super skeptical.
Watch him like say something super important and dire, and I'm like, nice try. It's like, Troy, they're coming, and I'm like, nah, nice try. Then my windows get shattered and crazy stuff happens.
We'll see, Troy. It'll come about when you're not even prepared for it.
That's horrible.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. It's about that time. Do you
about
guys
that
have
time.
anything you want to plug?
Be sure to follow us on about that on Spotify and like and subscribe. All our good stuff.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us and have a good night.
Happy New Year.